Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Breakdown with Hansen and Brown, the lockdown episodes. I am, of course, David Hansen, or not, of course, if this is your first time seeing, maybe you don't know who I am. Well, I'm David. Now you know. If you knew that before, this was a waste of about 6 or 7 seconds. Anyway.
Well, nice to meet you. My name's Joe. Hi.
That's that's my co-host right there, Joe. Joe, how are you today?
I'm doing just dandy. I got my Hawaiian shirt on. It's like 75 degrees in Elmhurst. It was like 90 the last couple days. So we're just chilling. We're vibing.
A beautiful day to sit inside for an hour and just talk. And talk we shall with our amazing guest who's on today all the way from her lake house. So she's joining us in her car, the first time on the show that someone's called in from the car. Give it up for Jacki Riek. Jacki, how are you?
Ooh, I'm so good. I'm so excited to finally be on Breakdown with Hansen and Brown. I'm ridiculously, I have so much adrenaline right now.
Yeah, I know we're like a big name in the,
you are.
In the pop culture right now, but
of course.
But you
I'd also like to say
we're excited.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the first ever Hansen and Brown episode where all of us are color coordinated. That's usually pretty hard to do. My outfit typically doesn't even match itself, so it's really hard to color coordinate. But here we go. We're all red.
Yeah, I'm typically wearing red because I look good in it, and you gotta look good for the cameras, the Zoom cameras, and you gotta rep B-Town. So
it's interesting. I usually avoid red. Red and orange make my hair look more ginger, and I'm trying to convince people that I'm a brunette, so I tend to wear dark clothes.
Wow, I didn't even have to bring up the ginger fact this episode. Thanks,
ginger. Wait, what ginger? I'm a brunette.
Are you though? What if I was ginger? Do you think I'd look good as a ginger, Joe? That's my question for you guys.
David, are you aware that on my YouTube channel and any of the videos
directly redirects?
Any of the videos where we are on stage together, the light makes it look that your hair is the same color as mine.
I know you did some editing tricks in the post,
Bold of you to assume I had the effort to edit any of those videos.
Jacki, I think it depends on the type of ginger. Like there are lighter hair gingers and darker hair gingers.
Well, I guess I had to wear a wig in Tuck Everlasting junior year to match Bridie's hair color, and I looked awful. So I guess we have our answer then.
Well, that was for people that have no idea what we're talking about. And this is my favorite thing. We had a bit in one of our shows where there was like a family lineage in one of the parts. There was like a mother and then a son, and then the son got older. And it just so happened that for those characters, there were two people that were gingers, the mother and the son. That was me and Bridie Costello. And then there were two people that were brunettes. And so it was really obvious to everyone in the show that the way they were going to do the casts was so that the brunettes would be in the same show because that would make sense. And the gingers would be in the same show because that would make sense. And Jacki, who was in both shows, would just wear a red wig in the red one. But our director for most of the show continued to insist that she wasn't going to pick the cast based on putting the gingers together. And then she ended up doing it anyway.
She's like, no, what could it be?
I would
it's a
never
surprise.
pick a cast like that. You're like, are you sure about that one?
That's
I feel like with that show especially, you knew, because of that specific, attribute, we all knew what the cast were going to be. Sometimes she mixed it up a little with other shows, but with Tuck, it was always, it was just so obvious that, you and Bridie would be in the same cast. And then, Aaron and whoever were going to be in the same cast. It just made sense.
It's like giving
Aaron and that other one. I don't even remember his name. Yeah.
I don't even remember the show. What was it about?
It was Owen.
I agree. It's like giving someone a bike for Christmas where you wrap it and you're like, oh, I don't know what it is. And you're like,
I wonder what it is.
Clearly a bike, Mom. No, who knows? Could be a camera.
Oh boy.
Anyways, the other thing that's nice about today is that, we all get to celebrate a state that we all love and have never insulted on the show before, and that is the state of Indiana. And none of us have ever said anything bad on the show before, especially in the last couple of episodes about Indiana. And we will
particularly not about Gary, Indiana. We love Gary, Indiana. Right. I don't think anyone has ever said anything negative about Gary.
I don't know why we're even mentioning it, how much we haven't talked about it, because you would just, you would just
It's just
infer.
such a great
It's
state,
actually,
you know?
it's almost strange how much we have, in fact, not talked about Indiana. That like now that we bring it up, it's like, how have we not mentioned it's like our neighbor state? You would think we'd have talked about it at some point, but it just hasn't come up.
But not once.
Not once, never. Especially
Jacki,
not Gary, Indiana.
Jacki, what's it like to go to college and, you know, live half a year in the beautiful, wonderful, perfect state of Indiana?
It's interesting. I well, I go to IU Bloomington. There's like multiple IUs. There's like 7, technically. So, Bloomington's a really cool like little town. I feel like I never left campus really, but it's a lot. There's a lot of really cool things to do. A lot of really cool shops and restaurants. We have a lot of really delicious ethnic food where everyone just goes to our like 5 Thai and Indian restaurants that are all on the same street, like every Friday night to get dinner. I honestly didn't venture outside of Bloomington very much, so I can't comment on the entire state, but Bloomington's pretty nice to go to college in, I would say.
Right on.
So
yeah, I feel like especially at those Big Ten schools, when you have that huge campus town and you don't have a car with you, I mean, where else are you gonna go?
Well, I mean, like even a lot of my friends because you only have to live on campus as a freshman at IU, so all of my friends that were sophomores, juniors, and seniors lived in like houses or apartments, and even they all lived like within a 5-minute drive of campus, or like I could take a bus to get to people's house, or like if it was nice out, like I could even walk. So it's like even the people that lived off campus, like I didn't go that far off campus because I didn't have a reason to really at all. So.
Are there any other notable Indiana campuses? I only ask because, like, when I applied to the University of Illinois, I found out there was a 3rd University of Illinois that I don't think anyone knew existed, which is U of I Springfield. Yeah, the one in Springfield.
What?
But I thought that it was pretty well known that you had U of I Urbana-Champaign and UIC in Chicago. Yeah. I thought both of those were pretty well known. Is there another Indiana campus that's like UIC to U of I? Like there's 2 that are both pretty well-known, pretty reputable campuses?
There's like gotta be at least 7 or 8, but not like well-known ones, but 7 or 8 different campuses. I would say IUPUI is probably something that more people have heard of. It's like, what is it? Indiana University, Purdue University in Indianapolis. So it's like, kind of I don't really know how to describe it, a mix of the 2 like schools and programs that we have at each, but like if you go to IU or go to Purdue, you probably know about IUPUI at least, but otherwise like it's all like it's like IU South Bend, like it's just other like
so there's a bunch
campuses.
Of Springfields. You guys just have
a bunch of Springfields.
State is full of Springfields.
Full of Springfields, yes.
That's interesting that there's a combined campus with Indiana and Purdue, because I thought they were kind of like rival schools.
We are rivals. IUPUI, I'm pretty sure, still has like the IU logo and stuff at least. So, like it's still, I think, closely tied to IU. I honestly don't really know.
So what you're saying is IU is the top in the relationship.
Yes.
I'm just imagining IUPUI is just some atrocity combination of Purdue and Indiana. It's like, look, we're all getting along, and it's like you pointed the campus, and it's like, kill me.
It's like
never
a
should have
horrible
been put together.
Mixture of the 2, yeah.
Sounds like turf wars.
Yeah, like, but I mean, Indiana is the superior school of the 2, so. I mean, you're nodding your head like you agree, but your eyes say you don't.
As an engineering student at Illinois, Purdue is definitely a rival of ours, at least in the engineering school.
Yeah, I feel like I only know engineering students at Purdue. Like, I don't think I've met anyone that, like, I don't know a single person that goes to Purdue that isn't in, like, engineering.
Half of my physics class senior year, like 90% of the kids in the class were either going to be engineering students at Illinois or going to be engineering students at Purdue. And then there was Mike
Bindeman.
That was basically the entire class.
Incredible. Sounds like a great group of people. A party.
It was like, and Mike was like the best student in that class. Mike was like insanely good at physics. You had all these kids that were going into engineering, and he had the lone musical theater major. He's like, hello.
He makes me so angry. Like, not to like shit talk Mike Binman, but
No,
he is
please.
one of the
Please do. We
smart.
did enough of it on his episode.
He is one of the smartest people I know, and also like incredibly talented. And it just makes me so. I guess I'm like not shit talking him. I'm just like complimenting him. But
You
it
just
makes
making
me
yourself
How
look
cool he
salty.
is.
Yeah.
just so
How cool he is.
angry about
Shit
it.
talk
Like
looks like this. Mike Vindeman's got a stupid face, and he's got a little line on his cheek that looks dumb.
that is a little dumb. His little scar.
You know how he got that? He like tripped on a staircase and cut his face when he was like 3. That's how he got that scar.
Yeah, he didn't do something
That's-
cool. He didn't get like in a cool fight. He fell
Yeah.
into a wall.
That's
Idiot.
the one thing about Mike that I don't envy. It's like I'm very envious of how intelligent he is and how talented he is with MT, but I do not envy how like utterly like derpy he can be. Like that's the only word I can think of to describe it.
He had a bit on his episode when he was with the show where I had told him I had a dream where he fell off of a roof essentially and broke both of his arms. And in the dream, I told him he was doing a dive roll and he did it. And he wanted to know if he looked graceful. And I told him that he did, but only because I was connecting that memory with a bunch of parkour videos that I had been watching. And he got personally offended that my memory of him in my dream wasn't him being graceful like as a person or a memory of him doing something graceful in real life. It was connected to some other person. And he's like, you've seen me do dive rolls
Oh my
before.
God.
And I was like, right, but this was like a really good dive roll.
Ah.
Oh
He
my
got really
God.
upset about that.
Well, enough
course he
about
did.
Kermit the Frog, the person. Let's go back to you, Jacki Riek.
Aw, I'm
So-
excited to talk about me. No one ever
Now-
asks because I'm not very interesting.
Oh, you are extremely interesting. Stop that. Stop that
You
right
flatter me, David Hansen. You flatter me.
now. Now, Jacki, you are a business student at Indiana, which means you go to the like renowned, like at least in the Midwest, maybe across the country, a business school of the business school or Geese Business School, the School of Geese.
Kelley.
School of Business. Geese is
Kelley School of
Illinois,
Business.
School of
David.
Business. Oh, sorry. I was thinking about a different campus in a different state
Uh-huh.
that isn't as perfect as Indiana. Sorry. I'm
Mhm.
thinking, of course, talking about the Kelley School of Business. So
Mhm.
when you tell people that, I know when I tell people my major, I'm like actuarial science. And people are just usually like, "Oh, what's that?" When you tell people Kelley School of Business, they're probably I'm sure you get tons of reactions that are very positive. So like what's it like kind of going to almost like a famous school of business?
I mean, honestly, when like family or like family friends, like older people talk about it, I'm just like, I tell them my major. I've never really been one to be like, oh, I go to the Kelley School of Business. I mean, with my friends, I have been because I like to flex on them. But with adults, I usually just am like, oh, I'm a marketing major. But it's interesting because we have a term on campus and we call people Kelley boners. And those are like those are the guys that you see, like if a senior is touring campus and they walk into the business school, they'll see people like normal college students, and then they'll see people in like 3-piece suits. And those are who we call Kelley boners. So on campus, I also try to avoid telling people I'm in Kelley because they always assume I'm the girl who wears a suit to class. When in reality, I'm usually running 15 minutes late and in my pajamas. So, but it's been really cool to see what like connections I can make and stuff with the name Kelley, because there's a lot of cool business benefits for it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Sure.
Yeah. So
You strike me as the person who not would wear a suit to class, but based on all the photos I've seen, would wear your candy striped overalls.
Overalls, yeah.
Yeah.
The class.
yeah,
Especially on game day.
Good day.
I thought about it on homecoming. I actually almost did because homecoming freshman year, usually people have the finite mathematics midterm, and all freshmen, not Kelley or not, you have to take finite unless you like pass out of it. I'm not good at math, so I had to take it. so I was like really worried, like priorities, right? I was really worried about how I was going to get to the game and like the tailgates after my midterm. Uh, so I really thought about wearing my overalls, but it ended up working out that I could go home and I had time. So, but there were kids like in spirit wear on homecoming at the midterm, and like people would leave the building and just immediately start to party like there was no tomorrow. So, but otherwise, yeah, no, I've never worn those to class. I've gotten through this much of my college career without having to do that.
I hope that changes one day.
I
I'm
hope
so
I can,
happy
maybe.
I'm so
What?
happy you brought up functions and finite specifically, because I happened to take that exact class as an Indiana University credit while I was in high school. So
Oh,
I
boy.
also took functions and finite math. Okay, so for anyone that watches the show that's under the impression that I'm good at math, David is good at math. I'm really bad at math. I did so poorly in math in high school that I fell off the calculus track my sophomore year. And then my junior year, instead of taking calculus with everyone else that started at the same level as me, I fell back to this very small class York offered, which was functions and finite, and it was offered as an ACP through Indiana University. So I have college credit from Indiana University for functions and finite math, and it counted for nothing against my major. That credit has not mattered at all at University of Illinois, but I have
I
it.
took ACP classes in high school, and I distinctly remember saying to someone, sophomore year I took Spanish 3H ACP, and I distinctly remember saying to one of my friends in class, "This is stupid. I'm never gonna go to Indiana University." And then 2 years later, I ended up committing to Indiana University, and those credits are actually getting me out of my gen eds. So it was a win-win.
They got me. I also took the Indiana Spanish classes, and I gotta say, I picked up a Spanish minor, and those classes counted for like 6 credit hours of the total 18 that I needed for my minor. It was insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then AP Spanish also counted for 6 credit hours. So I'm gonna pick up this minor, no problem.
That's really good. Like I got out of, we have like a world culture credit, and you have to get 6 credits. And I mean, I could save it for when I study abroad junior year, but I already have 6 credits from Spanish in high school, so that was really nice. But
so you're planning on studying abroad. I also have been, planning for a trip to study abroad. Do you have like a specific trip in mind already, or you just know that you're going to do it? You're going to find a way to do it.
So, I mean, yes and no. I have like ideas, but, so Indiana offers different programs through different schools. So I can do certain programs actually through the Kelley School of Business. So I want to go to Spain ideally. So there's a program in Sevilla that I would like to go to. So like ideally I'd end up doing that. But since I've been like a sophomore in high school, have wanted to do this thing called Semester at Sea, which is like literally living the sweet life on deck, you know? And you literally
living the dream. Living the dream.
No, like it's so cool. It's like literally my I actually would be so into that. You get to go to like 9 to 12 different countries in the semester, and then you like live on a boat and you do like field studies and stuff. So it would be so cool, but right now I don't know if I could get credit for IU through that program because it's not an IU program. So I would have to figure out like, can I still graduate on time? What credit can I get? So I might just take the easy way out and do a Kelley program to get it done with, you know?
Makes sense. They don't have a lot of boats in Indiana from what I hear.
Yeah, no, we're pretty landlocked.
They don't, but if you're like me and you're afraid of the ocean, and in particular sharks, Indiana has what we call in the business excellent shark insulation.
Yes.
Yo, you got to watch out for those Lake Michigan sharks, though.
Yeah, true.
Especially in Gary, Indiana.
The notorious Lake Michigan sharks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure a Lake Michigan shark in Gary, Indiana is just a fish that has so much steel in its mouth from Gary that it now has teeth.
Oh my God. I think the only time I've been near or in Gary, Indiana is like driving through it in road trips, and I would love to keep it that way despite now being an Indiana resident.
What a shame. I mean, Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
What?
Gary, Indiana. We on Evie's episode, I think we discussed that the skyboxes on the Willis Tower are actually pointed at Gary,
Are
Indiana. People
Which-
come to Chicago to
look-
climb
look
the Willis
at
Tower
Gary,
so that they
Indiana.
can gaze not at the Chicago skyline,
but
at
the glory
Gary, Indiana.
of Gary, Indiana.
Of Gary, Indiana. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense now that I think about it, but
Right.
I never knew.
But back on topic, that's pretty cool. I mean, I hope that it could count for it, but like,
Yeah.
what an experience! Like beside
mean,
that.
I've stalked so many people that have done it, like, because they have an Instagram page, so I'm always like looking at it, and I'm just like, when I was a kid, I legitimately did want to live on that boat, like what are they, the twins, Zach and Cody? Like,
Zach and Cody.
it sounds so stupid, but like that would be so sick. So like,
Personally,
if I could find a way to get credit, I would do it in a heartbeat.
I preferred the hotel version, personally, but the Sweet Life on Deck also has a great vibe to it.
Yeah, I think the originals of shows like that are always like top notch. They're always like GOAT tier. But I think the Sweet Life on Deck was like a pretty good spin-off. Like I'll give it credit. I think it's cool. It's a cool concept, living on a boat.
One of the best crossover episodes ever, with Sweet Life
True.
and whoever else came on.
I think it was like Hannah Montana and
Oh,
Wizards of
Hannah
Waverly
Montana,
Place.
they had a crossover. Wizards of Waverly Place. I think Hannah Montana was in the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody in the hotel version at some point. I know that Selena Gomez was on that show, but I don't think it was a Wizards of Waverly Place crossover. I think she just played a character. They had this really weird episode of Sweet Life of Zach and Cody that was modeled after the plot line of A Midsummer Night's Dream. But in the show, they were doing A Midsummer Night's Dream. Like, they were doing the Shakespeare show A Midsummer Night's Dream, and then all of the actors that were playing the different characters, how there's like a love rectangle in that show?
Yeah.
They reversed
We're all
the
very
love
up to date on
rectangle.
our Shakespeare plays, Joe. Thank you.
I don't remember all the names of the characters. There's like Lysander and I don't remember the names. But there's like, they have like a love rectangle. It's like guy likes girl, girl likes other guy likes other girl, girl likes other guy, like in a rectangle. And they were actors in this show. And in real life, they had the same love rectangle, but like backwards. So like they all liked the character that they were not supposed to like in the show.
Whoa.
That was like the plot line of the episode. And it was like Selena Gomez and the two brothers and some other actress.
Crazy.
Wild, truly. That just made me think of my first night ever on a college campus at IU. My first night, like, I moved in, not like orientation or anything. We played Cards Against Humanity, me and my roommate, with some people that lived on a different floor. And this one girl had, like, was the judge or whatever, and she was reading it out, and one of the cards she got said iambic pentameter. And she didn't, not only did she not know what iambic pentameter was, like, I love this story, but I hate telling it because I sound like a snobby bitch. But she didn't know what iambic pentameter was, but she also did not know how to pronounce it, which I found incredibly, like, I looked at my roommate and I was like, we have to go. I can't be around people that didn't take a basic high school. I was like, like, how do you get through high school English without knowing, like, I don't know, like, exactly what
Easy.
the, like, scheme
I
is.
didn't
But,
read
like,
a single book in high school English, and I got an A every semester that I took it. You can definitely get by without learning what iambic pentameter is.
Wait, you know how to read?
You guys are literate?
Whoa, what?
I'm an engineering student. I just speak math.
I just have to, like, meet the right people and I'll succeed. I don't have to pass classes.
Business.
People think engineering students at Illinois are snobby, but apparently the business school at Indiana has us beat. Somebody pulls up, some poor kid their freshman year is trying to meet people, trying to make friends. They pull up a Cards Against Humanity card. Oh, that's weird. What does that mean? Bike pentameter? I can't.
I was like, I find it hard to believe that you get through high school without ever once hearing the words, even if you're not paying attention in high school English. Like, you have had to have heard those words somewhere, right? Like,
You were also in the drama club, and weren't you in a couple Shakespeare productions?
I was never in I mean, West Side, technically, because it's based off Romeo and Juliet.
Lucky you, freaking Romeo and Juliet.
I also was not.
Yeah,
Romeo
I didn't.
And Juliet.
I don't worry. I didn't.
You
do
are
any
so
of the
lucky.
plays.
That is probably the worst show that ever happened while we were in high school. And again, for viewers, our high school's version of Romeo and Juliet was set in the far future in dystopian Middle Eastern times, where the Capulets and Lady Capulet were both women, and everyone in the Capulet family had face tattoos.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of lesbian.
And Juliet wore rollerblades for absolutely no reason.
I just don't understand how he came up with that. Like, you've got to be so like creative to come up with that idea. Like, that is the most random Mod Podge like put together like concept of any show that we ever did.
I've no idea why he gave Juliet roller skates. That's the one part of the show that I could never figure out. There was no reason to it. There was just one scene where she roller skated through the aisle to get onto stage, and then she took off her shoes. The blades were like detachable, and she took them off and never used them again for the rest of the show.
Joe, that's modern theater for you. That's modernism. Don't think too hard about it.
That was my favorite part of the show, in all honesty.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was my favorite part because the first 5 times we did it in rehearsal, Aaron Lee and I think it was Julia Doherty, who also played Juliet. They kept going down the ramp and not being able to stop because it's a really long, steep aisle, and they kept running into the stage. And Forsythe would be like, do it again. You got to be able to do this cleanly. It's important for the show that you do this roller skating bit down the aisle.
That sounds like a Whiplash moment. Like, stop on time.
Not my tempo. Do it again.
I feel like we brought up Whiplash before on the show. Maybe. Just great movie. Oh. But in case Mr. Forsythe ever watches this show, which who knows who watches this show? I mean, our demographic is people with too much time on their hands.
Apathetic Mr. Forsythe is to anything we do on the internet. There is a video on my YouTube channel that is a speech that I gave at a school assembly that was making fun of him. And he knows that I gave that speech, and I told him that I put it on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure he's never watched it. That's how apathetic he is. He does not care.
Probably. I love that. Like, that is probably the best attitude of any teacher at that school. I mean, not actually, but like,
care.
I love that attitude so much. Like, just incredible. But it reminds me of like Owen DeGrasse. Like, he just doesn't care what other people say or do in relation to him. He just does his own shit and goes about his own business. And I respect that so much.
It ended up being a decent show, though. You know, it was no Cats the movie, but it was.
Did you see that?
Did I see Cats the movie?
I didn't see
Cats the movie?
I did not see Cats the movie, but I did once take a bunch of acid and played with my cat for a couple hours, and I think I got the
same thing. Yeah. Same exact thing.
It was really weird when my cat started like elongating and then looking human. I was like, whoa.
Did he look like Taylor Swift at all?
No, unfortunately.
No, mine looked like James Corden.
A fat James Corden.
Never got over the nightmares from that one.
My favorite thing about, I think, all of the publicity that was done for that movie is every celebrity that posted about it was like, this is such an honor. This is such a dream come true. And I was like, my dream, like, I still very much love, like, the arts and performing and stuff. My dream, if, like, someone was going to ask me to be in a movie, would never to be in Cats. Like, I would never want to be in Cats.
That sounds like a nightmare to be associated with.
And we've made fun of Andrew Lloyd Webber on this show before.
Oh, we have.
No, I was watching your episode with Mike, and I was laughing so hard at what you guys were saying about Andrew Lloyd Webber and Cats.
Absolutely love it. If you don't like Andrew Lloyd Webber, watch the episode with Mike Bindeman, because we just tear into him.
Incredible.
Overrated. But
My
enough
favorite-
about the old beats.
Wait, I want to make one comment about cats because this is my favorite thing I ever learned about that movie. I watched a video with special effects artists watching and reviewing the movie, and they made this comment that blew my mind. That everyone was like, "Why is this so disturbing?" And they assumed the visual effects were bad, and all the visual effects artists were like, "Actually, the effects in this movie are really, really well done." The problem with the movie is the art direction in general. Like, the visual effects were done correctly, but the decision to make the cats intensely humanoid and to define like their characteristics in the way that they did, like giving them ass cheeks and like defining their breasts and giving them fingers, and like the way that they decided to make the characters look is the reason why it's disgusting and unnerving. It actually had nothing to do with the visual effects artists.
I love those cat ass cheeks. Yeah. Just kidding. That's please.
That's
no
on the
one
internet now.
Wait, yeah. Please don't ever take that out of context, anyone.
When I make the highlights for this episode, I'm gonna take that one clip entirely out of context. Nothing else that was said about cats is gonna make it into the highlights.
Oh,
Incredible.
No. So, yeah. Moving on from that comment, Jacki Riek, you're up in your lake house right now. You're enjoying the beautiful weather. You're ready for summer.
Yeah.
What is going back out on the lake like after being contained inside for so long? Like, what is that feeling? Like, did you miss it? Is it better than normal? Is it you're like, oh, this is not as underwhelming? What do you think?
I mean, it just kind of feels normal, especially because everyone up here, like, this is a super small community. It's a pretty small lake out in the middle of nowhere in Illinois. So everyone just kind of does the same things because you're up here with your family, and like, unless you have like family friends that also have a house up here, it feels the same. So like, my family, we're just up here having a good time, the 5 of us. So going on the boat and stuff, it just feels like normal. It feels like I've just been waiting all winter for this. But we did see like a bunch of people tying their boats together, which, no comment in the coronavirus time. Not
Old strategy.
Idea. But yeah, it feels like normal, and I think like everyone's kind of just treating it like a normal summer up here, kind of.
Good.
Which is nice. Yeah.
Good.
So it's been nice. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to say about that, really.
The only reason I ask is because I'm jealous. I want to hit the lake,
Dude, I want people to like come up here and do that so badly. Like, I'm waiting for them to be like, okay, it's safe. It's safe. We have a vaccine.
Great. Now that I've invited myself,
the vaccine is not coming for a while. You're gonna be stuck in limbo until next spring.
Yeah. That's
we'll work it out. The nice thing is, I just invited myself to Jacki Riek's lake house, and everything's
been invited before.
So, I know.
Don't pretend that
Jacki,
you haven't
isn't
been
your
invited
lake house
before.
in Mount Carroll?
It's about 15 minutes away from Mount Carroll. Yeah.
I love Mount Carroll. I went to summer camp.
I feel like we have. I
We've
feel like
had
me
this
and you have had to have.
conversation
Yeah,
before.
we've had this conversation before.
Mount Carroll
never
is
on
amazing.
air.
Never on air of your show.
Camp. If you happen to be below the age of like 12 or 13 and you're watching our show, which is absolutely none of our viewers, but
please don't. We talk about
like
about
to
cat
redact
guts
some of the
and
things
if you're
I've
looking
said.
for a YMCA summer camp to go to, Camp Benson in Mount Carroll is in the most beautiful area. The people that run the camp are amazing. Mount Carroll, it's like this little rainforest in the middle of Illinois. It's insane. I've gone kayaking down this like river with like a sheer cliff face that goes up like 40 feet to the side of it, and like just nothing but lush forest to the side. It's incredible.
There's some really beautiful, there's some really beautiful little towns out here. Like, it's fun to go drive around and kind of explore them, because I grew up 30 minutes away from one of the biggest cities in the world. So like, getting to kind of do the opposite is really, really interesting and fun.
I've just been sick of the city life. Just the elitism of being
so
in the
sick
Chicago
of
suburbs.
Of being in Elmhurst, Illinois.
The
'Cause I'm
trouble with
so
going to the
fancy and
University of
posh.
Illinois is everyone that goes to the University of Illinois says that they're from Chicago when most of them are not.
They're not. And the same
Every
thing. It's the
person
same
from the
thing with
state of
Indiana.
Illinois says that they're from Chicago. So if you go to the University of Illinois, you ask, well, where are you from? Chicago? Like, you really from Chicago? Well, not really. I'm from
No,
Wheaton.
Western
And it's like,
suburb.
that's not Chicago.
Sorry, I got distracted. We have like security, and I was afraid they were gonna come yell at me because I'm sitting in an empty parking
That
lot,
would
and it
Oh my
probably
gosh.
looks suspicious.
prime television.
Get them on our
Oh.
show.
Don't be suspicious.
They're
Don't
driving
be
away
suspicious.
now.
Aw.
God, I'm the
Suspicious.
embodiment of the
Don't
"Don't
be
be suspicious"
Don't be
TikTok
suspicious.
sound.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be
Um,
suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm like, please leave me alone. I'm just on my friend's podcast show thing. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here. But yeah, no, Joe. To everyone in Indiana is like the same because half of us are from the Chicago suburbs. But the worst kind of person, and I will stand by this statement until the day I die. I would rather befriend someone that goes to Purdue, and that's a big statement because they're like our biggest rivals, than hear one more person that goes to Indiana say they're from Chicago when they're not only from a suburb, but the suburb is in the state of Indiana. Like if you're from the region, northern Indiana, like you are not from Chicago. So
Like the
many
beautiful
I can
Gary,
see them
Indiana.
from across the lake. The same way that Gatsby saw the green light in Daisy's window, I can see the shimmering city of Chicago from my back porch, and by golly, I am a Chicagoan.
It's literally like I've met so many people and I'm like, oh, where are you from? They're like, Chicago. And I'm like, oh, me too. I'm from the suburbs. Where are you from? And they're like, oh, like the region.
Gary.
And I'm like, no, that's in Indiana. Like, stop.
Take the word Chicago. It's a cool word. Nice word, right? Now over here we have the word Gary.
Gary.
They're not the same thing.
They are not the same thing. Like, seriously. The one day I had a Tinder in December, I literally put in my Tinder bio, if you're from the region and you say you're from Chicago, swipe left. Like, I don't want to match with you.
Ra-ta-ta.
I'm that prejudiced against people that say they're from Chicago that don't live in the state of Illinois. I have that much annoyance.
Valid
with them.
prejudice. Valid.
Thank you.
That's a good determiner. Joe, have we talked about your escapades on Tinder on the show before?
I'd love to hear about
I
them.
don't know if I brought that up. So I've been doing research on Tinder.
You've been doing research.
Okay, so
that doesn't sound creepy.
Tinder is a stupid app, and I never get matches. So I started a system whereby I swipe right on everyone who goes to U of I, and if they happen to match with me, the first thing I ask them is their thoughts on our new mascot, whether they prefer the alma otter or the belted kingfisher. And so far, of the 7 people from Illinois that have matched with me that I've asked, 3 of them did not respond. 3 of them said they preferred the alma otter, like, greatly.
Good.
And then one of them said that she was I don't know the word, like, definitely was on the side of the kingfisher, was definitely a kingfisher fan, and was happy that Illinois was going in the direction of the belted kingfisher. She liked the bird. She liked that it's orange and blue and it's from the state of Illinois, and she preferred it to the alma otter.
And that's when Joe stopped talking to her.
And that's when I unmatched.
That's when Joe deleted Tinder.
Tinder had to go by the wayside. If you don't like the alma otter, this whole app is broken.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just gonna ask another question.
I was just gonna say, I've downloaded Tinder twice onto my phone. Once was when I was actually single and was desperate, and the second time was the first week I got home for quarantine to see which boys who rejected me in high school were gonna not reject me on Tinder. And then I deleted the app because I was too nervous to actually swipe right on any of them.
Bold. Very bold.
Wait, okay,
Thank you.
so I run into people that I know on Tinder all the time, and I always swipe right because it's like, oh, I know you. Like, it would be nice to talk to you and catch up. I haven't talked to someone in a while. Not in like oh, second chance from high school, kind of like, no, it's
Well,
like,
I wasn't
no
gonna
one
give
ever,
any of
no
them
one
minutes.
ever, yeah, well, exactly. It's
I
just
want
like
Joe
no
and
one
Jackie to match on Tinder now.
ever talks on this app.
Should I re-download
But
it?
almost no one ever matches with me that I know. The one exception would be Camille Staley, who has the same mindset as me that, like, if I know you, I'm going to swipe right.
I would do
That
that.
we can talk.
The one time I had it when I was in Indiana, I would swipe right on my guy friends, and they would swipe right on me. So I get that mindset. But
Yeah.
well, also when I re-downloaded it when I was in Elmhurst, I have a boyfriend now, so I was kind of like, I probably shouldn't have Tinder on my phone.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I'm not single anymore. After
It's not
18
a
years,
great app.
19 years.
Now,
It's
my
not a
last
very
question
good
for you, before we get to what we like to end our show with, when you just a question about living in the state of Indiana, when you start up
Mhm.
residence in the state of Indiana, do you automatically like NASCAR, or does that just like build over time?
I would say it builds over time. I'm not a NASCAR enthusiast yet, but I'm sure after my 4 years of college, I will be buying tickets to the Indy 500 every year.
Yeah, I just wondered if you like,
Well, I mean,
if you just started enjoying people turning left 500 times, or if like,
yeah.
it had to grow on
Well,
you.
you know what, Jackie, if you
Mhm.
start to get into NASCAR, let me know, because I know Ed Renzi, so I could probably get you something
Okay.
good.
Oh,
I will let you know if I actually start enjoying
NASCAR
watching
shows.
I
cars
know who Ed
go
Renzi
in
is.
circles.
I don't know who he is. He taught me how to fire a shotgun. I watched the Orange Bowl at his house a couple years ago.
Oh my.
An incredible story.
I wish we had the time to explore that. But
No, I'd rather leave it as it is. You don't get context for that.
I think
Ed
you're right. I
Renzi-
think I like the mystery
I think
of
it's
Ed,
more
I'll tell you, Ed,
mysterious. I like it.
if you don't know who Ed Renzi is, he owns a NASCAR company called Ed Renzi Motorsport. He also used to be the CEO of McDonald's, like back in the 90s.
Random.
So
Wow.
that's, yeah.
Powerful guy.
Okay. Cool.
Anyways, moving on from that, as we get to the end of our time here today, there's a little game we like to play with all of our guests.
Okay.
And that game is, Joe,
Sticks and stones to pay your loans.
that's right. Joe, why don't you explain the rules, since you kind of came
The
up
rules of this game are simple. Each one of us is going to come up with a scenario for the other ones. The conditions of the scenario are going to be as such. If you accept the situation, which could be magical in any way or perfectly realistic, and you accept to take on the conditions and the challenges, you will be rewarded with all of your student loans being completely paid off 100%, $0 from you, all dunzo kazooie. But these challenges are not for the faint of heart. In the past, we've had conditions that involve you getting randomly tackled by a member of the Alabama football team weekly for the rest of your college career. We have had people being forced to wear tap shoes for the next 10 years of their life and never being able to take them off. We have had some serious escapades. Evie Nudera once conjectured that in order to have your student loans paid off, you would have to, for the rest of your life, empty Harvey Weinstein's colostomy bag. So there have been some pretty good ones.
Oh boy.
So one of us will start, Jackie, and we'll come up with the idea. If you just come up with one on the spur of the moment, feel free to pitch it out.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Okay.
you don't have to do one. But if you have one that sounds like fun, go
Okay.
ahead. Joe, do you have one for today's episode?
I did, in fact, prepare one for today's episode.
Oh boy.
All
It doesn't
right.
happen often. I think this one's interesting because I like to pick ones where I don't know which direction people are going to go. I don't like to make them too hard. So this is my condition. Student loans are paid off, but your senior year of college, you have to transfer to a different school than the one you are at right now.
Oh,
You can transfer here. So here are the conditions. Because I thought about like some different variations.
Okay.
So you can transfer to any school that you want, right? It doesn't matter whether or not you'd be able to get in. Let's assume for this, you can get into whatever school you want. You could go to Harvard. You could like whatever. Your degree is going to be from the school you currently go to. You're going to do your freshman, sophomore, and junior year at this school. You're going to build friendships at this school, create like a little life for yourself at this school. And when you get to your senior year, you have to leave it behind and spend your senior year in a brand new environment. You get to pick it. Your degree will still be from the previous school, so you can't like go up to a more prestigious school and get the degree from like Harvard. You're still going to have an Illinois degree. you just don't get to spend that year like with your friends. You have to like make new friendships and stuff and finish your senior year like.
Okay, well, the nice thing about college is that if you're like a new kid in school, A, people aren't going to know because they don't know you. And B, if people do know, it's not like you're going to get shoved in a locker by the school bully, you know? So yeah, it's not a horrible scenario.
No,
Well,
but you are going to miss the fun of senior year with all of your college buddies.
That being said, like loophole, like what if I transferred at the beginning of senior year and then I transferred back for second semester?
Nope,
Is that
you
allowed?
have to
for the
finish
full year.
Nope,
No,
your
no,
whole
no.
senior year,
No.
you have to spend at a different school. You have to finish it up. I was thinking about this because of the quarantine, because like a lot of seniors like lost
Didn't get it, yeah.
the end of their senior year, and I decided I'd take it a step further. So like you basically have to repeat freshman year socially, but like at the end. You don't get to like finish on a high note partying with your friends.
That's tough because I feel like part of it's like it's almost you're graduating early, so you'd still like your last year or your junior year you'd be like, all right, this is my last year on campus, let's have a good time, and then you can just go see somewhere new, like you go to Colorado or somewhere, and that'd be pretty cool. But at the same point, like I love my campus, and
there are silver linings. Personally, I wouldn't leave Illinois. That's just how I feel about it. Like, it's kind of hard to say like I've built. You could, absolutely. And a loophole here would be if there happens to be another university very close to yours, you just transfer to that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a college very close to Illinois. Illinois is kind of in the middle of nowhere.
ISU is about an hour away.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You have to go to ISU, though. The point was simply to be like, I know like when we were applying for colleges, it was very important like what the name of the school is. So like maybe the allure of going to like a better school is kind of cool, but like realistically, you don't want to leave the school that you've been going to, that you've built your life in. No.
That being said, if my degree is still from the school I initially chose, then like why wouldn't I choose I could choose any school. Like I wouldn't choose, like, what if I would choose a school with a better social scene? Like I wouldn't necessarily go Harvard because
like
I'm not going to get a degree from Harvard.
Yeah, like Illinois.
Yeah, okay.
Well, then, like a further condition on this would be like, if you are to accept it, how do you pick the school, right? Like what conditions would you be looking for to pick said school?
Oh,
because there's a couple things to consider.
I'd go to like Florida or California.
Yeah, I'd go somewhere nice.
On the one hand, go somewhere cool and live up the party scene. On the other hand, although you may not be able to get your degree from Harvard, if you go to school there for a year, you have the ability to network with people that went to Harvard.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or you could go, if you plan on going to grad school, you could go somewhere and start working on the people there.
Yeah, butter up some professors and work on your grad school application.
But that being said, part of that is your networking skills. And if I'm gonna be a little bit of a bragger right now, I do go to one of the best business schools in the country already. So my networking skills, it shouldn't matter where I go. I'm going to be able to connect with the people at my new school and get those networking like opportunities, and also people that went to Kelley.
We all know that Jacki would pick Notre Dame. So
you do not know that. My dad would murder me if I went to Notre Dame. Our family does not.
You went to Notre Dame, you'd get to go to the Mendoza School of Business, and you'd get to see Luke.
I mean, that being said, if I'm gonna talk about the little romantic in me, like I'm only 3.5 hours away from him now, so that's not too bad. But like if I was actually had this opportunity in front of me to transfer my senior year to any school, I think I would stay at IU. That would be my choice. I wouldn't trade the people that I've already met in the 9 months I was there this year, or like 7 that I was there this year. Those people are already some of the most amazing people I've ever met. So like getting to spend more time with them is like the bottom line. Like I don't care if I can go to Harvard and get my student loans paid off.
It becomes incredible if there are any like high school seniors or high schoolers watching this show, how before you get to college, where you go becomes so important to you that you don't even think about like where your friends are going to be. But the second you get there, the idea of going somewhere else is almost unimaginable.
Yeah. Well, and it's like I love my friends from home. I love you guys. I love the people I met in high school. But I think something about the people you meet in college it's like it has truly, like, the people I've met in college are some of my favorite people on the planet. And like that is so much more important to me than the name of the school I go to or the degree I'm getting. Bottom line.
So you would not give that up to have all your student loans paid?
Not in a million years. I'll pay them off, and I will continue to have a good time my senior year with the people I met at IU. That's what I would choose.
That's beautiful, Jacki.
Thank you so much.
David tends to be pretty stingy
Screw
about
my
money, so
friend.
now I'm curious what
Doing it.
his answer is. Yep, there it is.
I would almost do this even if you didn't pay
off your
pay all
student
my
loans.
student loans. Not because I don't like my friends. I love my friends, but
Mhm.
I'm taking this one personally.
Like, I kind of want to go places, you know. I want to see somewhere new. If I could,
You
just
could go to
have
like the
all of your
University of
20s.
Hawaii.
Yeah, I could. Why
But
not?
you have
know?
all of your 20s to do that. Like that's what that time in your life is for.
But
you
I'm getting
know?
paid
I'll
to
tell
go
you
to
what.
these places.
I'll tell you what though, but like if you leave and go to Hawaii, the entire senior year, I'm gonna be sending you Snapchats of board game night every single time.
And you know what, Joe?
David,
I'll open those snaps while I'm at a
And
luau,
after you
and I will
leave,
chuckle. I will
after you
chuckle
leave,
at you and your polar
I'm
vortex.
gonna take over your spot in the extension cords after you leave.
David, I would just like to say, as someone that doesn't currently go to U of I with you guys, seeing any posting on social media with all of my friends from high school does make you sad. Seeing any Snapchat of board game night does make me a little sad.
Absolutely.
We'll keep them coming.
I absolutely love it. I didn't realize people downplay it when you like leave high school. I did not realize how nice it was going to be to have like 5 of my closest friends at the same college. Mm-hmm. We hang out constantly.
Well, and everyone shits on U of I for that same reason, myself included. And in Indiana, it's the same way. But like everyone's like, I don't want to go to school with half our grade. I want to branch out. And then you get screwed because you're not only in a new period of life, but you're alone. Yeah. Like you have none of your friends from high school. It's scary.
It's a scary transition period. And for me, at least, because I had David and Owen and Aaron and Kate and all of our other friends that happened to go to U of I, it was made a little bit easier, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Aww. Yeah, I'd still take it.
Yeah, David's still leaving.
What about you, Joe? You a no on this one?
Absolutely not. I'd stay at U of I for multiple reasons. I wouldn't want to take engineering courses anywhere else. Wouldn't want to leave my friends.
Have fun,
in a shocking turn of events, Joe is the more sentimental one here than David.
More sentimental.
From what I've seen.
I very rarely accept the student loans on this show. I think I've maybe done it three times.
Yeah.
What were the conditions then, may I ask?
Oh geez, I don't know.
Do you remember?
I'd have to go back and
look back at previous episodes.
I'll go watch
on our YouTube
does not
channel.
Happen very often.
Okay. My scenario, this was very sentimental. So that was really nice. I'm going to do a little more of a wacky one. You get all your student loans paid off, and you know that's a lot of money, you know. And the case though is that for the remainder of like maybe the next 20, 30 years, your body is like a Lego person. Okay? Not in the sense that you have like cup hands, but in the sense that like a really loose Lego, if you get knocked too hard in like the arm, the shoulder blades, and the head, and the legs, it just detaches.
It'll just fall off.
It just plops off. You're like, oh, you got to stick it back in, and you got to go on with your day. Would you take it?
I mean,
okay, let me ask some questions.
Go ahead.
Does that impede? Okay, would that like impede my ability to like do certain things? Like, would I be able to do a pull-up, or if I hang from a bar, my arms are just gonna pop off?
Well, that's tough. You know, I
can't do pull-ups anyway. So.
You'd be able to do a pull-up, but if you like try to just like release yourself on the way down, your arms would stay up.
Okay, so like a pretty significant, but like not crazy amount of force could pop it off. So like if I do a pull-up and then I drop dead hang, that might pop my.
Imagine if like you got hit in the face with a soccer ball, your head would pop off. Like that kind of force.
Interesting. Okay.
You guys,
like you're perfectly okay. You just have to go like.
Yeah, you just have to go find your head and.
Okay.
I like how your guys' concerns are about like physical activity, and I didn't even think of that. I was ready to say yes. I was like,
I usually
I
bring
can't
it
do
up.
pull-ups. I don't play soccer. Like,
Well,
that
I
doesn't matter
usually
to
bring
me.
it up because a lot of my hobbies are physical, and it's like, well, it would be kind of rough for me to like drop a bunch of my hobbies, like not be able to tumble, not be able to rock climb anymore.
Well, you see,
But that
like,
actually sounds
my
very
hobbies are
entertaining.
not contact sports. So I'm gonna say yes. Also, then I could just like take my arm off and weird people out with it, and I think that'd be like a fun
Yeah.
practical show.
100%. The sheer comedic value is endless.
You'd scare people away. Here. If
I'd
you
be
like,
hey, what's up?
if we ever get back to like handshaking, like if you handshake someone too hard, your hand is just gonna pop right out of your
Imagine
arm.
me being like
Amazing.
at an
Hilarious.
interview for a job. They're like, oh, she goes to this great business school, whatever. And I come off very intelligent at first, hopefully. And they go to shake my hand at the end of the interview, and my arm just comes off.
They're like, she's got a good head on her
so
shoulders,
good.
and then your head just falls off. Well,
Yeah.
That's when you make a hilariously witty joke, and they know like that you're the right person to hire.
Right.
Yeah, but my witty
the
jokes always
comedic
come
value
15
is so
minutes
great.
after. I feel like
think of the
that's
applications. What if I want to get a tattoo on my forearm? That might take like 3 to 5 hours. I don't want to be waiting around that long. Just pop it off, hand it to the guy. I'll go get lunch with one arm. I'll come back in a couple hours. Bada bing, bada boom. Tattoo's done. Pop it back on. There's so many applications.
You want to get food, but you also want to work out. So you like pop off your body and you eat food while your legs go on a treadmill. Yeah.
Yeah. Just let the legs do a little bit of running. You want to hit somebody, but they're a little bit too far away. Pop the arm off and just slap them.
Honestly, the only other like downfall I see with this is I lose things very easily. Like I'm not an organized person, and I'm afraid like I'm on campus and someone bumps into me, my arm falls off, and I just keep walking. And then like I'm like, shoot, is my arm in the library? Like where did I have it? Like I would do that.
Have you guys seen a disembodied hand anywhere?
Anywhere?
It looks like this one, but reversed.
Well, Jacki Riek,
like
please
that's
come
something
to
I
the
would
front.
Do.
We found her arm. You'd have to like label.
I'd have to label
write
it.
your name on like every part of your body that could pop off.
Like how they write Andy on the bottom of the Toy Story
on the boot.
like toys. Yeah, like
you
have your name and phone
Jacki
number
Riek
tattooed on your hands, arms,
I get
legs.
like 4 texts about like my missing leg.
I'm just thinking that if you get hit like too hard by anything, like someone like rushes into you and like hugs you or something, like you know how sometimes people are physical, your whole body just falls, like bursts into pieces, and you go everywhere, and you're like,
absolutely.
I love
I have to pick myself up again.
I love like big hugs like that, but I think I agree with Joe. Like the comedic value is just like incredible.
I think
like
usually when I accept
your daily life.
I don't think it would really inhibit my daily life at all.
It's a lot of money.
If you walk into a door frame that's too low, like you're trying to get into place and the door frame's too low, boom, your head's off, and you're like, oh, I have to go back for my head.
I have to go pick up my head. Hilarious.
I think it would just be a slight inconvenience and funny at times.
Does this mean you're impervious to damage? Like, can you get bruises still? Or is it like the only damage you take is just your arm falling off? You're like, oh, gotta put that back in.
Interesting.
Are you invulnerable now?
Question. Probably
I'm
not.
like literally thinking about a Barbie doll and like the way like a Barbie doll is shaped. Like
so you can still get melted. You can still get melted by fire.
So you can still get melted, but all other things like bruises, that's a no-go.
My weakness is getting shoved in a pizza oven. I think usually when I accept conditions, it's because they're really wacky and they add some hilarious comedic value to my life. I'm definitely going to accept this one.
All right, Jacki Riek?
David Hansen? Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah. Is this a yes or a no? This one?
Oh, is it a yes or a no to your condition?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. I will take the lost body parts for the loans paid off. 100%.
I think you guys convinced me too. I think I'd definitely take this one. Just the amount of puns.
I was gonna say, like you of all people.
So many puns can be made.
The amount of puns.
Hey David, can you give me a hand?
Because I already think it's hilarious when people who have prosthetics do that. Like, imagine if it was your actual hand.
That's so funny.
Wow.
People who use
Wait,
prosthetic limbs for
basically like
jokes
having-
and puns are like top tier comedy.
This won't affect my choice at all. It's still yes. But the more I'm thinking about it, would you be able to still move the like not like make it crawl or anything, but like move the like fingers on your hand if like my arm came off? Like would I still be able to do that?
No, it should be pretty fun.
Originally, I was gonna say no.
But like think
But
about how
since we're all
funny
taking
that
it,
would
why
be.
not?
I think that's really funny.
You know what
That'd
I
be
just thought
basically
of?
a superpower.
I thought of them putting like Luke Skywalker's like prosthetic hand on and how they're like touching the like things in his fingers, like start
Yeah,
tweaking.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Of course,
Like
at
that's
the
what I
end-
started to
At the
imagine.
end of Revenge of the Sith?
Of course.
Is that the name of it? Yeah. New
No,
Hope?
that's not the right one.
Well, of course.
Are you sure? What's the fifth one?
The fifth one's Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes
Revenge
Back.
of the
I've
Sith is
become
like
a
the third
complete
one or something.
nerd. Yeah, that's the prequels. I've become a complete nerd, which of course.
Well, Jackie, do you have a scenario for us? If
That's
not,
like
it's okay.
I thought of a really weird one, and
Please.
I don't know why this was the person that came to mind or the actions,
Uh-oh.
but I'll share it with you guys. So as you're talking, we're just talking about college and stuff, you know. So you get all your loans paid off, the conditions are everywhere you go, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson
Yes.
has to
Taking it.
carry
yes.
you like a baby.
Oh.
You
And
promise?
In one of those like baby
and
swaddles.
any way he wants. I'm thinking like physically like cradling you. Every class
Yeah,
you
like
go
I
to,
curl up,
every party
like in his
you
arms,
show up to,
like a bridal
yeah.
carry.
Or in one of those like like the mom and dad like things that they
And I get a
backpack
piggyback
things.
ride.
Yeah,
If I
and you're
piggyback-
like
I'd be like 10 feet tall if I piggybacked on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
that being said, the conditions also include so long as you're on campus, like in a public place, he also has to treat you like his child. So if you're at a dining hall, he has to like, you know, do a little airplane or like mama bird your food to you. Like
I'm
something
gonna
like he would
reiterate
treat his.
something I said earlier. Promise?
Promise. Wait, I have a question.
Just imagine what?
Very important question.
Okay.
At night,
Mhm.
when you go to bed, does he set you down in your bed and tuck you in and like read you a bedtime story, or does he still have to be carrying you?
And sing you a lullaby?
And do
He
you fall
has to-
asleep in Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's arms, and you wake up in his arms?
I mean, the rules of this, the conditions of this are anytime you would be standing or walking, he has to be carrying you in some form.
Oh, okay.
But-
okay.
That being said, if you and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson if he wants to tuck you in bed or cradle you to sleep, that's your choice, you know?
Wow.
I'll leave
And
that up to
every morning you're woken up to the serenading of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Good morning, sunshine.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what the rock just said.
Can you imagine seeing like you're walking through campus and you just see a kid in one of those like mommy carriers
Yes.
facing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson like curled up on his chest like a grown man, like a
Yes.
college student? I would lose my shit.
No one would ever mess with me.
I'd be the
Dwayne
new
Rock
bicycle
Johnson.
guy, only better.
Here's my one problem with this scenario.
Okay.
I feel like this is just selfish towards Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Like, he can't make
That
any
is
movies
true.
while he's carrying me. Like, would
He's
I do
got a
that to my
family,
boy,
man.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
But
Man.
but to your point, what
Mhm.
if he shoots his movies during the summer and then you're not on campus, so he doesn't have to be carrying?
But he's got a family, man. He's
You
got
know,
a
Dwayne's got a
daughter.
life. He's got better things to
But-
do than to carry me around.
Yeah.
That's all fair. That's all fair. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, for all intents and purposes of the game, I would say yes. Like in this scenario, what if I could have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson like airplaning me food in the dining halls on campus?
No, but
like
at
I
what
would
cost?
look so cool.
At what?
What if it was a
we'll never
selfish-
get a sequel to San Andreas?
Selfishly, I
another
want to
Fast and
say
Furious
yes,
movie.
but
If there
they
was a
say if you
clone-
love
Rob.
someone,
If you
they say if you love someone, you need to let them go. And
Maybe we'll just have to
You know,
clone him or something.
Wayne
And
the
then
Rock
clone,
Johnson
I'd be
has his
okay with
own
that.
life to live.
if
There's
we
a Dwayne The
clone
Rock
him
Johnson.
though,
Even
it's
clone the Rock
everyone
Johnson has
wins.
something.
Clone the Rock
Yeah,
Johnson.
but Clone the Rock Johnson deserves rights. He should be able to choose his own path. He shouldn't just be my slave so that I can feel babied and cradled and loved and held.
You know, like when you're
No, we can't do it.
on
We can't
campus,
do it. They deserve better than
when you're
that.
on campus and you just really need your mom, instead of your calling your mom at 2 a.m., you can just be like, hey,
Yeah.
Mr. The Rock Johnson, can you make me some hot cocoa or something?
And what if some bullies are going to like come and beat me up? You can't beat me up when Dwayne The Rock Johnson's my personal bodyguard and escort. But I still feel like it's not right.
I can't do it to my boy Dwayne the Rock.
I can't do it. Not even to a clone.
I don't know,
Life
guys.
is too important.
Not even
I think
clone the Rock.
if it was Clone the Rock Johnson, I'm a hard yeah. I would do it. I would definitely do that if it was at least a clone.
I'm so tempted, but I just can't.
Now, Jacki, unfortunately, we're getting to the end of our time here today. In fact, we're over time, which is
So
a
sad.
staple of this series. There was so much we didn't get to talk to you about with your. I know you're in a business fraternity, right?
I am DSP. Yeah.
And you got lots of stuff going on. Is there anything you would like to promote before we end the show? Anything you want to talk about?
Like I don't even know. I don't know. I'm just really glad you guys had me on the show. I don't really have anything big going on right now, but maybe one day if I have something big and I need to promote it, I'll ask to come back. But
let us know if DSP is ever doing any big events or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, right now, all I can think of is we're actually, I don't know if we still have it up, but we have a GoFundMe going on and we're donating to different organizations for the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff. So if people want to click the link in my Instagram bio if they follow me at Jacki Riek, not so subtle plug, they can donate to that. But otherwise, that's like the only thing we're really focused on. It's the summer. We're all doing our own things right now. But thank you guys so much for having me on the show.
Jacki, thank
so
you for coming on the show.
It was an absolute joy to make fun of Indiana for an hour.
I loved it. All my friends go to IU except for my friends from home. So I don't get bullied enough for living in the great state of Indiana.
That beautiful, beautiful state of Indiana. Well, Jacki, anything else you'd like to say before we head off?
Oh my gosh. No, I don't even know. Thank you guys.
All right.
I'm
well,
just
thank you
so
much.
happy.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Joe, anything?
And thank you guys again.
No, thank you again.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a repeat of Ben Pavlik's episode. Thank you.
Joe, anything else?
My Midwesternness will not allow you guys to thank me last. So
it happens every single show. It's so hard to end the show when everyone involved is from the Midwest. Nobody wants to end it.
Yeah.
All I got to say is go Hoosiers. That's my last little piece of
Well, thank you, our viewers, for watching us today. You can check out older episodes on the YouTube channel. Stay tuned. We usually do this on Friday. I know today was Saturday and a little bit of a mix-up, but we're a very fluid schedule. So just pay attention to stuff we put out online if you want to watch shows in the future, or just come back on the weekends and you'll see it posted on YouTube. For Hansen and Brown, I'm Hansen. I've been with Brown. Thank you, Jacki, for being on the show. And we'd like to tell everyone to have a good night. And please remember that if you live in the state of Indiana, especially in Gary, Indiana, you don't live in Chicago. Get that through your head. Have a great night, everyone.